Finding the optimal amount that you should save or consume is a challenging thing. There's nobody that is going to tell you what the right amount that you should actually consume is. And there's nobody that's going to say, this is how much you should save for the long term. And this sort of ambiguity and what is appropriate with the resources that you have in terms of consumption or savings causes a lot of anxiety for a lot of people. Most people don't even consider what is the appropriate amount that they should save or consume. But I would argue that saving is only part of the story, right? And I would say in my message for 2023, Happy New Year's, by the way, it's January 1st, is to say that you should save 15% of everything that you make for long-term investments and thinking about your long-term, but then also make sure that you have some consumption. So you got an entire year and you can create an entire budget in your head of how much that you want to consume, but have some consumption just for fun and for pleasure and to do things that are just silly, whatever those silly things are. And instead of thinking about a set amount, right? I'm going to consume 5,000, I'm going to consume $100, or I'm just going to, do something that's silly for $5, whatever it is for this certain amount of year. Thinking about a ratio of how much that you actually make. So let's say you set this ratio at 5% of everything that you make. And let's say that you made $50,000 a year, which is, an average sort of salary and is probably appropriate for many people. So then you should be setting that sort of 5% level, $2,500, $2,500. Set that so that you could just blow that and have fun and do something silly and just kind of consume it, whatever that consumption is that gives you pleasure, whether it is eating nice, going for a holiday, going tenting, just anything, just that is sheer pleasure for you and your family. Set that arbitrary amount, whatever that is, and consume it just to have some fun. And I think the reason why I'm suggesting this is that it's a healthy thing to have both savings and focusing on long-term savings as it is having just conspicuous consumption just for the hell of it, and to blow that money and just be silly. And I think we need to work on both of those things. These both require a muscle. They require training. They require a lot of work where you sit and you think about, how am I actually going to spend money? Because life is not just about consumption for the long term, or it's not just about saving for the long term. That long term sometimes doesn't happen for us. And we also have to think about how we're going to get to that end goal where we want to do something for long-term benefit for many people, or just for myself to have something that's some savings for the long term. But, life is also about that consumption in the short term where you're just having fun and consuming things and setting a certain amount where you just have pure enjoyment. The goal is to set a steady state of pleasure, joy, utility, whatever you want to call it, just so that you are enjoying your whole life at a steady state throughout your entire life. At no moment should you feel, not, that you're consuming too little or too much or whatnot. You should set that arbitrary amount where you just have fun. And set an amount, that's why I say 15%, it's a good amount that you can have for long-term savings, but set that so that you can consume in the long run. So the goal is to spread the resources that you only have a certain number of years that you make money. I mean, we all are like this. It's kind of typical. Maybe we're only going to work until we're 70 years old, right? And so we have that certain set time, and we want to save for the long run, but then we also want to consume and have fun in the short term. And this is my message for you, is to work on both the saving for the long term, but also having a healthy appreciation for just consumption, just fun, whatever that fun looks like for you and what is appropriate in your context for you, having some fun. And you could do things for inexpensive amounts so you can extend that by having fun, by, instead of staying in a hotel and having a fancy night at a hotel, stay in a tent and have 5 nights in a tent compared to 1 night in a hotel, and do something like that where you can consume and have fun and just enjoy the things that you have that are at your fingertips. I think that's a healthy, appropriate message for 2023. Consume and save for the long run. Make sure that you enjoy yourself every single day, and making sure that you're just having a silly old time. It's going to be a long life to live, but you still have a lot of life to go. All right, take care and have a wonderful day. And Happy New Year, by the way. I appreciate each and every one of you.